If you run a business and you're registered for GST, you have to lodge business activity statements. Now, depending on the size of your business, it could be monthly, quarterly, or annually. But irrespective, the requirement is there. So when business and cash flow might be a bit tight, and you know you have a GST debt, you may be thinking, well, I won't lodge my BAS just yet. Money's a bit tight, I'll wait. Well, if you wait and you miss your lodgement date, you will be penalised for failure to lodge on time. Now, one penalty unit for 1 day late is $330. That penalty unit can increase up to $1,650 if you're a few months late. Now, I'm sure you're not always going to be a few months late. Hopefully you're never a few months late. But the point here is that irrespective of whatever debt you are going to crystallise by lodging your BAS, you need to do it because you don't want an additional $330 or up to $1,650 for every BAS you lodge late. You've already got a debt, why would you multiply it? On top of that, of course, is the interest. Now, if you don't have the money to pay upfront when you lodge, yeah, sure, there still may be some interest. But why have the failure to lodge on time penalty on top of that? It just doesn't make sense. So, have your financial affairs and your accounts up to date. Keep lodging on time because it does two things. One, it removes those penalties, which can add up significantly over time. But also, it confirms to you what your debt is, so you can then plan to manage it. Because without knowing, how do you manage it? So, make sure your financial accounts are up to date. Make sure you're lodging on time. Eliminate any failure to lodge on penalties. And if there is a debt issue, get on the front foot and contact the ATO for a payment arrangement. Now, when we're talking payment arrangements, of course, that is for the historical debt. That doesn't mean you can just continue to add the next quarter or next month's BAS on top of that. You need to make sure, if you are on a payment arrangement, that you need to pay your next liability, your next activity statement, or tax return, depending on the timing, on time and in full. So again, it's really a matter of managing your cash flow, understanding when the money's coming in, how much you have, putting money aside for GST. All of the major banks, when GST came out, created a GST bank account so you could automatically transfer 10% of what you receive as income into an account, so you've got it there. It's amazing how many businesses don't use that or have other systems in place to make sure that they do have the funds when it comes to the end of the quarter or month or whatever the timing is for you. This is all about managing your cash flow. Unfortunately, GST is just another business cost. Yes, it's money you collect and it's not yours, you're collecting on part of the government, and yes, that's disappointing and frustrating and no one wants it, but the reality is it's here. We can't change that, but what we can do is put systems in place to make sure that we stay compliant, we stay on top of our obligations, we don't incur any additional penalties, we minimise interest, and we end up with more in our pockets. It's tough, I understand. But the reality is we can't just stick our head in the sand and think it's going to go away. And we can't continue to think that the ATO is an interest-free bank. They are not. And if you deal with them, or you've been reading the news in recent time, they are really cracking down. So don't give them a chance to crack down on you. Because the more times you're not compliant and the greater the debt you have without payment arrangements, the more they're going to be looking at you and the more they're going to cause you grief. Don't let them do that. If you need any help, reach out. That's what we do. So I hope you found this useful. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye for now.